I am so proud of the NASCAR Truck Series drivers. They did not let the glamour of St. Petersburg or the IndyCar stars in the field hinder their progress in any way. It was awesome to see. Hello, everybody. My name is Brody. The NASCAR Truck Series made history on the streets of St. Petersburg, accompanying the IndyCar Series. It was historic because this was the first ever NASCAR Truck Series race on a street course. We saw these big old V8 Truck Series stock cars race on literal airport straightaways on a street course meant for these sleek, quick turning Indy cars. It was incredible to see, a definite feat for this series and a spectacle nonetheless. I'm very excited to dive into this race review with you guys and stick around for after my drivers of the day for a new introduction of a new exciting segment I think you all will enjoy. So let's hop right into it. Let's begin with your race winner, and that is Lane Riggs, the number 34 Ford truck. Both of the front row motorsports entries have found victory lane in just 3 weeks of competition. Chandler Smith at Daytona, and 2 weeks later, Lane Riggs on the streets of St. Pete. What a performance. I did not expect this out of front row, out of Ford, or out of Lane Riggs. He straight up dominates the second half of this race, wins stage two, his first ever road course stage win, and he leads 40 laps to go on top of that. And on top of that, he had to start 28th, made his way all the way up, crosses the line in first place after only having 1 lap of practice. The entire field only got 1 lap of practice. Rain came in, and a metric from Atlanta set the field for today's race. He overcame all of that, overcame the tough competition from his Ford sister teammates to win on a very, very tricky street course he's never seen before. So, congratulations to Lane Riggs. Very, very impressive win and very impressive outing from Front Row Motorsports to dominate this early in the season, and very impressive from Ford in general. Here are my drivers of the day, some new faces and some familiar faces, and we'll start with Ben Rhodes in the number 99. Remember how I said Ford dominated this entire race? Well, Lane Riggs dominated the second half. Ben Rhodes dominated the first half. After Connor Mozak led the first 7 laps, Ben Rhodes took control of the race and he led 23 laps of his own. He earned the second most points of the entire race for any driver. The first place driver was Lane Riggs, winning the race, obviously. He got 70 points. Ben Rhodes got 50 points. Ben Rhodes had to overcome some adversity, got into the wall a couple times, made some contact with other drivers, fell back, still nets himself a podium finish, bringing it home in third place, continuing his very, very impressive and hot start to the 2026 campaign. Next, I want to give a shout out to Daniel Hemrick, who, fault of this metric system, had to start in 34th place, came all the way up. I believe he was running around 15th position, got involved in a wreck, got damaged, typical street course stack up, had to go all the way back, make repairs, drive all the way back up, and he nets himself an 8th place finish. Well done, Daniel Hemrick. I bet that was a sigh of relief, a job well done for that entire 19 truck team. Moving on to a name you might not have ever heard of before. His name, and remember it, is Landon Lewis in the number 45 Nice Motorsports entry. When I was watching the beginning of this race, I'm like, who is this man's? And come to think and realize it was the 20-year-old Kevin Harvick backed young driver Landon Lewis, who started 8th, made his way into the top 3, was battling for the lead consistently throughout, got roughed up a little bit at the end of the final stage, but nonetheless, he kept his nose clean, did not make mistakes on a very tricky St. Pete, did very well, impressed me to hell. I was like, this kid has talent. He's very good. I was proud of him, honestly. It was really cool to see this 20-year-old go out there and just put belt to you know what to these Truck Series regulars and even some IndyCar stars. Like, it was really, really impressive. Congrats to Landon. Finally is James Hinchcliffe, or Jimmy Hinchcliffe, the IndyCar winner himself, now broadcaster for IndyCar. He nets himself a 10th place finish after starting third, fell back, got some contact from his IndyCar fellow driver, fell back, came back up, and still comes home with a top 10. And he said he enjoyed the racing. He said if he knew more, he would go into this thinking differently, drive the truck differently. It's just a big learning curve for these IndyCar drivers getting into a 3,000-pound heavy truck. Congratulations to James on the top 10. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, my newest segment, and it is What the F Driver of the Race. This could be funny moments, funny mistakes, or really bad, like, what the hell were you doing moments. In this case, it's just a funny, feel good, funny ish moments, mistakes from none other than the man himself. The first ever recipient of the What the F Driver of the Race is Ty Majeski in the number 88 Thor Sport truck. Look, Ty Majeski had two interesting moments why he's the recipient of this award. He took control of the race early on, but as soon as he took the lead, he blows the next turn, goes driving into the wet grass, hits the tire barrier, falls back like 5 spots, rallies back up. He has a chance for the win. He probably really didn't, but he sent that thing in there nonetheless. And he almost takes out Lane Riggs and himself in the process, blows it, locks the tires up. Still, after all that, he still finishes second. So I just thought that was funny. We will continue this segment into the future race reviews I do for all of these series. But congratulations to Ty Majeski on the first ever What the F Driver of the Race. Looking at your remaining top 10, let's go through here. Let's look and highlight Chandler Smith in the number 38 Front Row Motorsports entry. He had a very insane 3-wide pass, passing Ben Rhodes, passing Lane Riggs, leading himself 7 laps. Did very well, and this does him well in the points because he gets himself another top 5 finish, and he just compounds his points more and more. He is now the points leader for the Truck Series, getting himself that win and another top 5 here at St. Pete. Congratulations to Chandler Smith. Did a very good job the entire race. And congrats to Ford overall for just dominating the top 5. The first 4 drivers are all Fords. Did you expect that from Ford on a street course? I didn't. Congratulations to Ford in general. 5th is Caden Honeycutt, who had to start 19th. Got damage early on and still rallies back to come home in the 5th position, getting himself a nice top 5. Andres Perez backs up his earlier performances at Atlanta and Daytona with a 7th place finish on a tricky street course. Congrats to him. He's just putting on a great show in that 44 Nice truck. One final shout out for the top 10 is Colin Braun, making his first truck or NASCAR start since like 2011, 2013, I think they said, and brings that kind of slow Ram truck to a 9th place finish. That is impressive on its own right. Ram is struggling right now for sure. Obviously, it's expected, but he's just a little like, yeesh. But congratulations to Colin and Ram. I bet they're pretty happy with that result. Another Ram driver, Justin Haley. He brings it home 12th. I think Justin Haley obviously has proved himself as the most reliable and consistent Ram driver to start the season. He's always been hovering around the 20th to 8th place range, finishes in a solid 12th. Connor Mozak started on pole, led the first 7 laps. His team screwed him on the pit strategy where there was no competition-based pit stop. So you could come in, you could be first, have a 2-minute pit stop, and still come out first. Like, there's no losing positions. And they just left him out there. They let him out there with the entire field pitting. I just screwed him over, put him behind the 8 ball the rest of the race. but he still manages to finish in the 13th position. Christian Eckes was involved in that Daniel Hemrick incident, still nets himself a nice 15th place finish with damage. Tyler Reif couldn't even make a one lap before the race even started. He had a mechanical issue of some sort, and his car just died on the pace laps. Still rallies back for a 16th place finish. Congratulations to Tyler. Dario Franchitti, the other IndyCar star in this race, 4-time IndyCar champion, with Jimmy Johnson, 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, on top of the pit box calling the shots for him. He was in the top 10 consistently, was very, very impressed. I think he had some sort of mechanical issue, came down pit road, overshot his pit box. Can't blame him. He's never made a pit stop in this truck, never made a lap in this truck before this race. Still, still does incredibly well for himself. He finishes in 27th. Not amazing, but circumstances proved otherwise, that he is very, very capable of still running competitive at 52 years old. Overall, for my initial opinions, race review for St. Pete with the Truck Series, it was interesting. I think early on I thought, I don't think this track suits the trucks very well. I think that was because everybody was taking it cautious and they just looked out of sorts, a little bit uncomfortable. But later on, I think the racing improved as the race progressed and the drivers got a little bit more comfortable. And you saw that with the spins taking place, the single car spins, and then the stack ups. Like, you saw drivers get more and more comfortable. That led to more incidents. Not saying you need incidents for a compelling race, but that did lead us up to a great sprint to the finish where we had the top three, top four Fords battling all there. We had a bit of a fuel conservation issue, save mode. Like the last two laps, you saw Lane Riggs literally wiggling his truck, trying to get some fuel to pick up in that fuel cell to keep that truck going. That allowed Ben Rhodes and Ty Majeski to get right up on him, and Ty Majeski making that what the F move of the race. It was very good, a very heart pumping final couple of laps. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. If honestly, if I had to compare it to something, I would compare it to Lime Rock. I did not really like the Lime Rock racing earlier in the race. I thought later on the trucks got better and better. I thought this was kind of comparable with the trucks at St. Pete. Honestly, I prefer St. Pete over Lime Rock currently. Just my own preference. I thought the race was compelling, especially towards the end, and you had some interesting players up there, no doubt. So overall, pretty satisfied as a racing fan, as a consumer. Diving more into the nitty gritty, I think this was a successful event for NASCAR, and I think they're pretty happy they can accompany IndyCar. I'm pretty sure IndyCar probably footed the bill to make the racetrack, use their people, their resources, their money, their cash money to put on this event. And I bet NASCAR was like, hey, why don't we accompany you with a lower end of our top three national series? Why don't we accompany you for probably free to have this very nice street course that IndyCar races on and the Truck Series get to race on it? So I bet it was pretty rewarding for NASCAR to see the racing product as well as getting that race for a pretty good deal. I imagine the broadcast itself was pretty good. I'm sorry, I don't know what the name of the IndyCar announcer was in the booth, but he, in his first race in a truck, was better than Michael Waltrip, better than Jamie Little. He was good. He was the only guy I was like actively listening to because he had a lot of racing insight, racing knowledge, and I was like, oh my god, he's actually bringing some energy, some like credibility to this Fox truck booth that is just so, I don't know. It's hard to listen to. Michael Waltrip even is just like, okay, man, let's just back her down. Let's just back her down. Let's just focus on racing. But anyways, Overall, I think St. Pete was a successful event in the eyes of NASCAR and the eyes of many fans, and I like the IndyCar and NASCAR collab. No better way to do it than having an early truck race and then the IndyCar kicking off their season. So overall, very, very good. That's my opinion on the trucks at St. Pete. What did you guys think of the race? What did you think of the finish, of the comers and goers, of the spectacle itself? Do you want to see the trucks come back to St. Pete? Let me know in the comments what you think below. Did you guys enjoy my new segment? Do you guys enjoy the templates I made? Do you guys enjoy the videos? Leave a like if you do. That would mean a lot to me. Or comment down below what you guys think. I really do appreciate all of your viewership so much. I made this channel for NASCAR fans, racing fans like yourself. So I hope we can communicate and you can come back for future videos. So that's it from me. It has been a pleasure making this video for you guys. I hope you have a great, wonderful, and even splendid rest of your day. See ya.